Hey guys, Sharpan here. I am making this video to address the second primary solution, I guess it would be the secondary solution within the Global Exchange support suite, which is the package of features, products, solutions, whatever you want to call it, that are being deployed into every GX app to address, of course, the tremendous demand for support, proactive education, and communications with the end customer. And especially since it's being released inside the InstaCrypto app first, and then all the other apps later, it's really going to be important for us to focus in on how we can deliver kind of the most rudimentary levels of support, because the ideal InstaCrypto user is someone who is learning about Bitcoin for the first time. And so please watch my previous videos on not just the support suite videos, which you have to watch if this is going to make any sense to you, but also the InstaCrypto videos in which the support suite videos are kind of bridged into. So the first feature inside the support suite is chats.io, which is the evolution of the GX Chats support system that we rolled out when we transitioned away from WhatsApp. I go over in detail what that looks like in the mobile app, how that is a platform for progress, and how the end consumer can now feel, a much more visceral connection as opposed to having to go into the web app or navigate some other complex technology. In the second part of the support suite, I'm going to talk about OnHold, and this is going to be the newest kind of concept that you guys have to grapple with, and I think that this is going to go available probably about 1 week after the InstaCrypto goes available as a download, which means like if you can see it, and we'll definitely show it in the background here, and it's available. The only thing now we're doing is doing the final kind of mapping of the artificial intelligence that kind of underpins it. OnHold is a technology that I wanted to roll out, not even just for Global Exchange, like many of the other things for the support suite. It's like came out of my frustration, and then also seeing the frustration of my clients, realized that, oh wow, this is like something that needs to be addressed. And we've always kind of played around with the idea of a phone support system. And that's really unorthodox for crypto, simply because, well, it's unorthodox for any software company, because no software company does phone support like that. It's beyond strange. But for crypto, it's just, I would imagine, it's very bizarre. Since we've nailed down already the technology and the platform for the chat support, especially with the version that we're talking about now, OnHold is something I've worked on for a while, just outside of this, and then now within the domain of InstaCrypto. So long story short, what OnHold does is it flips the switch on traditional phone support queries. So whether you're talking to your bank, your insurance company, your mobile provider, whoever you're calling, you have a couple companies that for some odd reason you seem to always call. Or you might just call once because you're having an issue with the service or product. Obviously not in crypto, because this is not really an option, but it could be applied to crypto or any other platform. So let's say you're just calling your bank, because I know that's something everybody has experienced. You're calling your bank about some strange transaction or something that's not working. So you call them, and of course everybody will know what happens next. You have to go through an IVR machine that's as brutal as anything could imagine. Anybody who built the people that built the IVR machine essentially had to come to let's take the most painful and anger-invoking components of conversation and then make every single customer who's probably calling us when they're angry go through it. I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't think that I'm innocent of also perpetrating that in certain companies that I've worked for. So I'm not, I'm just observing that that is the case. It's incredibly infuriating. And then what follows that? You're on hold. Once you tell the IVR a bunch of things about you, and once he tries to box you into a structural transaction, he puts you on hold for who knows long. Let's say a minute, let's say 10 minutes, let's say 20 minutes. Obviously, you guys have had some experience that are longer. Most support calls, like on hold, were probably about 10 minutes. By this point, you're ready to lose your mind, right? You've talked to a robot who has not listed an option that actually applies to you. You've waited on hold, listening to what can only be described as I don't know, the iTunes worst 10 songs to play while on hold. And then you finally run into the support agent, who for some reason doesn't have any of the information you gave to the IVR, and puts you through an authentication again and puts you through a questionnaire again. Of course, only to say, oh, this is not my department. let me swing you over to the right. But what I can do is swing you over to the right department. Do you mind on waiting on hold, sir? Well, at this point, you want to say something to the tune of, I'm not going to say it now, but because you are now invested 15 minutes into this, you're not going to say that because you don't want this to have to start again. And so you wait on hold, and this process continues. And I'm making humor of it simply because it's so painfully aggravating. And whether you're an entrepreneur or customer, everybody's been in this scenario, like as a customer. So that's the current circumstance. I would only imagine that for crypto, if that ever got applied, it would be horribly worse than all of that, because it would be so much more queues. People would be freaking out no matter what, because they're dealing with like money. They don't understand the technology. So it does make sense why no company has done that, but it would just be brutal. The wait times would be insane. So some companies like Google have already navigated to this quasi-chat, quasi-call scenario where you start talking to the chat, and then when you need to make a call, you call and go through the same process I just talked about. So I always thought that the company should be on hold, not you. And I'm not even saying that because it's like I'm super consumer friendly. Well, no customer wants to be on hold because he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong, even if he did something wrong. So just from a customer psychology perspective, I know it's not effective. But it also doesn't benefit the company for the customer to be on hold. Apart from the fact that the company now has a pissed off customer who's going to be more irritated and less pleasant to deal with, which is just going to increase the time it takes to deal with them. Apart from that, it's like bandwidth wasted to manage that call system. It's ineffective data collection. Employees are getting on calls that they don't even know what's happening with that customer. They're trying to read the IVR software. It's not, seems to not work well. And it's extraordinarily tedious. The amount of support staff you need to manage something like that because of that exact holding system is terrible. So on hold is essentially saying the customer doesn't stay on hold, let the company stay on hold. And essentially it's a communications technology built on top of chats.io, which allows you as the user to go into OnHold inside of the support suite, which is inside of your app in InstaCrypto, and click on hold. It's going to give you the several questions that are the most important questions, right? Because you would only click on hold when you're urgent. If you're not urgent, you can go to chats. And even if you're less urgent, there's two other support functions, which I'm going to describe in the following videos. But on hold means you're as urgent as you need to talk to somebody. So what does it do? It first asks you, what's the nature of your problem? And that's a simple question that every single company could do. I mean, whether you're a restaurant or a crypto company, you're like, what's the nature of your problem in the restaurant? Do you have food? Like, is it something with the food or a reservation or whatever it is? And if it's crypto, is it a transactional issue? Is it a compliance issue? Is it a technology issue? What that does is like remarkable, because basically what it allows the user to feel is, oh, at least they know something is terribly wrong in my life, which is the thing that they don't give you on the phone. And I would even say that within support chats, like even the way we've done it, we don't give the customers that privilege. We act as if it's their responsibility to explain to us that we've just messed up. Customers hate that. And so the OnHold just says, okay, what's wrong? You click a button. Let's say it's transactional. Then they're going to be like, okay, what type of transaction failed? There's just obviously subcategories, and this is kind of the AI doing it. It's like, okay, is it a withdrawal? Is it a deposit? Is it a trade? Okay, withdrawal. And then finally, he's going to ask, were you able to make the transaction or not? Because some people have queries about not being able to make transactions. Some people have queries about transactions that were made. That's the only 3 questions it asks. And then it asks, do you want us to call you now, or do you want to schedule a call? If you click schedule a call, you're essentially scheduling a call when it's convenient for you. If you click call me now, what happens is it's a button that says get on hold. It goes to the agent at the company, and the agent gets the request that this customer has an issue, and the agent types in a time. And if the agent is in queue right now, then our time will get automatically printed. And it's going to be a clock, like a ticker. It's going to be a countdown of whatever the time is in which the agent will call you. So it can say 5 minutes. Agent that says 5 minutes is going to call you in 5 minutes. Or if the queue is long, it can even say 30 minutes. Whatever it is. But the great part is you haven't made the phone call. You haven't wasted any time. And you know when someone's going to call you. And they're calling you, which means you can go on with your life. There's a problem. They know it's serious. They will call you as soon as it is humanly possible. By the time they call you, and the great thing about the OnHold software is that it's built into the app, so as long as you have the InstaCrypto app or whatever app is integrated into, it's calling inside of the app over VoIP, so it doesn't need to even ask for your number. And then it tags everything to your user profile. So then when they call you, you're pleasantly surprised. You might have been able to cool off. You might have been able to go do something, drive, do something that's not, you don't feel like you've invested time into solving a problem that shouldn't have been there in the first place. And if it's a problem that could be solved on their end, they could just now message it to you, right? But if it's not, then they're just going to call you. And when they call you, now they've wasted time. And they haven't actually. It's actually been completely organized on their part. But you haven't done anything. You haven't wasted time. They know exactly what your issue is. They ask you maybe another question to specify it, and then it gets solved. So it's essentially a call-based support system where the customer initiates the demand and the support fulfills it, but the customer doesn't have any further qualms, right? Yeah, that's OnHold. It's available at onhold.app. We'll be releasing the technology. Like I said, releasing the software for other companies as well. It's going to be available in InstaCrypto. My goal would be that to make the AI that precedes the OnHold call so advanced, and that's the other thing. People click through those 3 questions like this. It's not like saying, for click 1 for this, that, and the other, because clicking is much faster than listening. Reading is much faster than even listening. So I think that changes the dynamic completely. Now you have a pleasant, not pleasant, but a more pleasant experience with the customer that allows you to essentially deal with it more effectively, obviously save customer sentiment, but have less support infrastructure on our part and make the support more intelligent and less kind of repetitive. And so that's OnHold. 1 week after InstaCrypto will launch, you guys can start testing it. It's really, 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 really cool.